Hiya, it's Hayley and welcome to another video. Today's topic, as you can tell from the title, is all about burnout. How to avoid it, how to overcome it, my top tips, I guess. This is a really stressful time for, I think, most of us. It's exam season, it's times. There's so many deadlines at the moment for students in literally every year group. There is just a lot going on right now, and so that is why I am here. I always get really stressed out around this time of year. It feels like there's too much to do, there's not enough time, can't go out, especially right now. Usually the nice weather kills me, but right now it's like really grey and rainy. I am currently 2 weeks away from my dissertation deadline and I'm feeling very stressed out. It is stressing me out. So I thought this is a much needed video. Probably by the time this comes out, either my dissertation will be done or it will be almost done. I sure hope it's done. So these are my top tips. These are the things that work for me, so I can't guarantee that they're gonna work for you. Also, I feel like you know yourself the best, right? You know how, like, what method of studying works for you. So I guess I just hope that I can give you some kind of inspiration and maybe a couple things that you hadn't thought about before. Also, all of this stuff, it works in theory, like all of these productivity tips or tips about avoiding burnout or how to study effectively or whatever. All of that kind of stuff works in theory, but in reality, you can do everything you're supposed to do and still get burnt out. Because I know that's what happens to me. If I am in a period of just prolonged stress, there's loads of deadlines for a really long period of time, or I'm having to work hard for a long period of time, I will just get burnt out no matter what I do. So don't beat yourself up about it if you feel like you're doing everything right and you get to a point where you still get burnt out. Like, it's just natural, it just happens. Encourage yourself gently, and a lot of avoiding burnout is all about your mindset. So it's the way that you think about work, the way that you approach your work, the way that you're thinking about your pressures, and whether that's time pressures or pressures from other people in your life. It's really important to try to mitigate putting extra pressure on yourself, because I know that that's something that I do personally. I look in the mirror and instead of being like, you're gorgeous today, I look in the mirror and I'm like, you didn't do enough today, or you're not working hard enough. And then it just makes me more stressed out because I'm like, it's not perfect. So it's all about mindset and just the way that you approach work. So without further ado, here are my top tips. First thing, which is the basis of life in general as a human, is sleep. Obviously, you knew this was coming. Don't pretend like you didn't. Getting 8 hours or more sleep, just generally like the recommended amount. But as I said at the start, you know your body best. So for me personally, getting around 8.5 hours is like ideal. For some people they need like 10 hours, for some people they need like 6 hours. If you're feeling tired during the day, sleep is the place to start, because if you're tired you can't concentrate. If you can't concentrate, you're not going to be able to work your best. It just snowballs on from there. Try to be consistent and like maybe only deviate for like an hour. I find for me, during the week I'm like, yeah, I'll wake up early, I go to bed early, I have like a routine, and then at the weekends I'm like, oh well, if I'm not working on, I don't know, Sunday, then I'll go to bed a bit later and I'll sleep in a bit longer. But as soon as I go to bed later, then the next day I will sleep in way past what I should. It will just mess me up completely. So trying to be consistent even at the weekends or like even on your days off is really, really helpful. And another thing is, if you're the kind of person where you're still stressing in the evening, like you're like, okay, it's time for bed but I haven't finished my task for the day, or you're thinking about work or you're thinking about other things going on in your life, for me personally, listening to something and putting it on a sleep timer is gold. Nature sounds, for some people ASMR works. It's not personally for me, but whatever works. Bird song, the ocean, rain. So yeah, that's kind of like my top sleep tips. Okay, so I sort of mentioned this when I was talking about sleep, but routine is everything. This is the most important thing. Like, if you only take note of one thing that I say in this entire video, this is the one, and that is establish a routine for yourself. Set yourself working hours. So you could say I'm gonna work 9 to 5 and study 9 to 5, or set working hours and relaxing hours. Plan in like meals as well, even if it's not precisely like dinner time. For me is the goal. So because my family and I, we all eat together, that is a set meal time, and I say to myself, try and get all of your work done before dinner so that you take a break, you socialize with your family, you have some food, and then afterwards you relax. That's my kind of daily routine. I would also say when it comes to like dedicated chill time, evenings are a must for me. When I'm at university, I would work late into the evening because I would wake up late and then my whole day is later. If you work best like that, that's fine, but for me, I feel bitter, and then I get like bedtime procrastination where I feel like I haven't had enough free time during the day, so then I don't want to sleep, and then I'm tired because I wake up late, and the cycle just continues and it gets worse. So working during the day and then having my dedicated chill time in the evening, you can watch an episode of TV or play a game with your friends or whatever, you know, have a long bath, whatever it is. Also, days off. When I was having seminars, Sundays were my dedicated days off. I said I need at least one day of a week. Now I give myself Saturday and Sunday. I give myself a whole weekend. I do like a working week, so I work Monday to Friday during the day, have the evenings off, and then have the weekend off. And that is enough for me. Even now in like the midst of all this pressure, I really need that time off. I do not have the ability to work properly and productively and effectively 6 days a week. I can't do it. And finally, set goals and be reasonable and be flexible with them. Now, what I mean by that is I will have a weekly plan with the things that I want to get done during that week, and sometimes I'll write it down on paper and sometimes it'll just be in my head. I'll have like a weekly plan of tasks that I need to get done. So I'll say I need to finish writing my dissertation by the end of next week. And then I'll break it down further into smaller, more manageable chunks. And like dividing it into daily amounts of work, not oversubscribing yourself, but having a reasonable amount of work to do. It just really helps keep you on track. And you can say to yourself, okay, I am going to get to this target that's not too far away, but I can push myself to get that extra little bit done by the end of the day. Yeah, I don't know if I've explained that very well, but setting reasonable goals and being able to change them and be flexible with them if you don't meet your goals is really important. Another thing that I think might be a little bit controversial is that the reward system does not work, and the reward system is an unhealthy way of working. And what I mean by that is saying to yourself, I will get X amount of work done and then I will reward myself with X treat. Sometimes we set ourselves too much to do in one day. Sometimes you get interruptions. Sometimes you just are less focused or productive than you wanted to be on a particular day, and then you don't get what you want done. By saying, oh well, I can only have this reward if I get my work done, you are then restricting yourself from relaxing and giving your brain a break. I think personally it's really unhealthy. Also, when you can't focus and you said to yourself, oh, I'll only be able to relax, or I'll only be able to do what I want to do once I've got all of this done, but then you're not feeling focused. So what happens is you just sit there like staring at the wall, staring at your work, staring out the window, not doing anything, not being productive, but also not relaxing. And then it's even worse because you're just not doing anything at all. You're just sat in a state of like limbo, but it's like pressured limbo. You have to listen to your body, and like if you're really not focused or like you are literally sat at your desk falling asleep, listen to yourself. Get up, walk away, have a change of scene, switch my brain into thinking about something else so I'm not just stuck on this thing, and then I'll come back to it, and then I'm actually more productive in a shorter space of time because I haven't restricted myself. You could take a half hour or a 20-minute break and come back and be refocused, or you could not take a break, try to force yourself to finish your work and end up sat there for 2 hours not getting it done. So there's my 2 cents on that issue. I have a pretty similar stance when it comes to food. Sometimes people put a lot of emphasis on the types of foods you need to eat, or like you have to be super healthy in order to make your brain function properly. The mental pressure it creates that we put on ourselves is like an extra thing that you really don't need when it's crunch time. Eat when you're hungry and snack when you feel like you need to. Even if you're not like physically active, your brain's still energy to be able to function properly, and you see where I'm going with this. And if you live alone, please do not allow yourself to run out of food because you're too busy to go shopping. Eat when you're hungry. Don't run out of food, and don't feel guilty about getting hungry because your brain needs that shit. Next thing I want to talk about is your nature of relaxing. Relaxing is so important, as you know. I used to be like really busy all the time, and my way of like relaxing, like my break time would be spent like going out, socializing, doing things, like going and doing activities. And what this period of time has taught me is that you really just need to embrace the slow life. Embrace that slow life. I definitely take a holistic approach to my like burnout avoidance / recovery methods. I just bit my tongue. I make sure to make time for skincare like a couple of evenings a week. The more stressed I get, the more spots I get. And I don't know if you can tell because I'm like wearing makeup, but when I feel like my skin is bad, it stresses me out. And then it puts me in like a negative mood, and that puts me in a negative mindset, and it just keeps going from there. My skin's bad, I'm stressed. I'm stressed because my skin is bad. My skin is bad because I'm stressed. It goes round and round in circles. I don't know why, but like the smallest thing really affects me. It's actually a surprising factor that helps me keep working for longer and like helps me de-stress a little bit and mitigate some of that extra pressure that I put on myself. But for me, skincare is something that I can do while I'm studying. And that's another thing that I want to come to in a sec, but I can wear a sheet mask or a clay mask while I'm at my PC. Yes, it's a treat for me, but it's also associating something nice with studying. Doing two things simultaneously, it can sometimes feel like super distracting, and some people might tell you that if you're gonna do it, you might as well like fully relax while you do it. But students don't have time for that. Put on a face mask and study at the same time. You can do your nails like I did. I painted my nails, and while they were drying I was still typing. Light a candle and it'll feel cozy, and you'll still be studying, and you'll be saying, it's kind of nice. It's like a spa evening, but I'm also being productive at the same time. You also have the added benefit of associating something nice that you enjoy doing with something that you have to do. If your approach to your work starts with thinking, oh god, I gotta work, that's already associating it with something negative. You're already starting off with that blockage of a mindset of saying, I don't want to do this, rather than saying, okay, it's not that bad, it could actually be kind of nice. And then you create that environment that makes it nice to be in, and then you want to be there for a longer period of time. Anyway, that was super long-winded, but basically I'm just trying to say, associate things you like doing with studying, and studying will become something that you like doing too. Another thing I started doing recently is listening to Subliminals in the background. Like when I'm struggling to focus, or there's a song stuck in my head, you can listen to lo-fi, subliminals, nature sounds, classical music, anything. And then it just makes it feel a lot nicer, and then you're in that state of mind where all of that pressure that's on you and that you're putting on yourself as well starts to become peripheral. Does that make sense? Does that actually make sense? Like like the pressure becomes peripheral because you're not focusing on it. Like you're not studying focusing on this has to get done. You're studying focusing on like, I'm studying for studying's sake. So as you can tell, doing my dissertation is driving me slowly insane. It's time to move on. I am actually sweating so much right now. I've got hot water and then the heating came on. Oh, it's a lot. Whew. Another way to give your brain like a mini break and give your eyes a little break is to write things down on paper or read like physical books as much as you can. I have a few physical books like this that I got posted to me from the library, which is honestly it's a godsend. And then I can put post-it notes in it, and I just find like reading from paper and reading in like natural light as well without that backlight. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen my to-do list many times. This is it. You will have seen these. But yeah, I like to use these. They're like physical to-do lists. I love like the satisfying feeling of taking something off or like crossing something off your list. It's like a mini little reward. And also if I have something written down, then it bugs me more that it's not done, rather than like having it online where I could just delete it and then get rid of any trace that it was ever on the list to begin with. Whereas if I actually write it down on paper, it's stuck there. Don't write in pencil, write in pen. Be bold. And this is my little like workbook. I know it says journal. I left my notebook at uni, so I had to use whatever I had. So here I have a calendar. I don't know if you can see, you probably can't. But I have a calendar of like, these are the days of when my deadlines are, and then little goals for myself. I can see like how much time I have in between exams, how much time I have in between deadlines, and I can also see how long each exam is, because we stand open exams. Is it 24 hours? Is it 48 hours? Will I sleep? No. But anyway, yeah, so this was like a major tangent. Writing things down, physically reading things away from the computer helps to give yourself a little bit of a mini break. My next point is just to very basically, similar to like with the sleep and the food stuff, is just look after your body. Get up and stretch. Try and sit up straight, like instead of like hunched, which I am usually. I'm really bad at demonstrating, but like curve your back a bit. Sit on the front bit of your bum. I know we don't have time. We don't have time to be going on these long ass walks, but if you do just a little tiny bit of exercise, then it'll make you feel better. It'll make you feel good. And fresh air is good for your brain, and natural light is good for your eyes, and there's so many, all of these things. And it's good for your mental health too. I always say that, but it's true. Drink loads of water, drink plenty water, tea, coffee, maybe less coffee. Water is the best thing. Just water, just drink it. Drink as much as you need. My boyfriend always says, oh, I don't want to drink loads of water because then I have to pee. So what? You're at home, you can pee. And I don't know about you. Do you know what? I have some of my best ideas on the toilet. I don't know why. Loads of famous people throughout history have had like digestive problems, so I think sitting on the toilet for some reason promotes brain activity. Or maybe it's just, you know, having some time and some space and some privacy to like mull things over. Best thoughts when I'm on the loo. So drink water, pee more. It's good for your body anyway. Another thing is just to be nice to yourself. Pay attention to the way that you speak to yourself and encourage yourself that way with like positive reinforcement, rather than like bullying yourself into working, being like, if you can't finish this today, you're gonna fail, because it's gonna make you upset and more stressed and less productive. Speak some kind words to yourself. Praise yourself for the work that you do. Don't beat yourself up for the work that you didn't get done. And treat every day like it's a fresh start. Like, good morning, I'm blessed with another day. Let's get to it. Believe in yourself, because you can do it, okay? And that's pretty much it from me. This is the end of the video. If you were wondering about study tips, I don't believe that I can really give you any major study tips, because everyone's studying very different things. Also, like I said right at the start, you are the expert on yourself. Believe that. Say that to yourself and believe that, because it's true. Nobody else knows you better than you know you. Just trust that you know what works best for you, and all I can say is have a calendar, break down your time frames into smaller goals, and try and keep calm, keep positive, keep looking after yourself, and be nice to yourself. And you know, if you feel like it's really hard to be nice to yourself today, talk to a friend or a family member and say, hey, can you be nice to me, because I have lost the ability to be nice to myself for some reason today. And they'll say, yeah, cool, okay, I can do that. So yeah, just make use of the people around you and you will be fine. You will be absolutely fine, my friend. Either things work out or they don't, and there's not a lot you can do about it. What you can do is just keep trying, try your best. You will end up where you're supposed to be. I hope this helps. Keep going, you're doing really well. You're doing great, keep it up. Chin up, and I will see you in the next one. I was literally about to say, don't forget to like and subscribe, but you can do whatever you want. Love yous, bye.
Just think about it right now. Everything's okay. No matter where you find yourself, no matter what kind of stuff is going on in your life.